Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. I was recently online reading about uncontacted tribes. Tribes usually found in South America. Sometimes there's tribes that you'll read about in India and various, parts of the world that are, I guess, more tropical and more jungle-like, and there's lots of vegetation and places to hide. Lots of these places are very hard to access. The jungle is so thick. And these uncontacted tribes, uncontacted, live in these areas. I say uncontacted with air quotes because I use that term loosely. A lot of these tribes have had contact with, modern society and modern humans. Maybe they've met up at some point and exchanged resources or just words. But when you say uncontacted, technically that would mean a tribe that has never had any sort of contact with, modern society and modern, humanity. But I was thinking that, Bigfoot is North America's uncontacted tribe. Sure, people have ran into Sasquatch and have had face-to-face encounters, but these are beings, or potentially a people, that are doing what they can to stay hidden from us for some reason. It's interesting when you read about these uncontacted tribes in various parts of the world, especially when you look at the video clips of them in the images. They look scared. There's some video clips I found online of people filming these tribesmen and tribeswomen, and they look very scared, kind of sketched out to be around, modern humans. They don't know, what could happen. And modern humans are dangerous people. Even just walking down the street in the city, a lot of times you'll have bad, negative encounters with people. So it's totally reasonable that these tribesmen feel a fear when encountering a modern human. Why do you look so strange? What are these clothes you're wearing? What's all this stuff you have with you? All the technology and whatnot. Bigfoot is North America's uncontacted tribe. I feel like these creatures fear us in the same sense that some of these uncontacted tribes do. Yes, the Sasquatch is a giant hair-covered beast, essentially, muscled up, 8 feet tall, 600, 700 pounds. You'd think, why would these things fear humans? They're physically capable of tearing us limb from limb. Well, humans are dangerous, humans are destructive. We know this. We know about deforestation and the destruction of the wilderness, of their habitat, the place that they call home. They have every reason to fear humans. A lot of people wouldn't think twice about shooting at one of these things. Usually people within the community, though, are smarter than that. And they would never do such a thing, but I'm sure there's people out there that would. A lot of encounters when people run into Sasquatch, they will run into this thing and they'll be face to face with it, and it'll be looking at them and they'll be looking right at it. It might not, display fear to you, and 9 times out of 10 you will be the one feeling the fear. But there's a reason why they stay hidden. There's a reason I think they fear us. I think they fear everything that we're about. Nowadays, we're about distancing ourselves from nature. And Sasquatch is all about resisting the modern world. Sometimes I wonder if Sasquatch is nothing more than just, I guess, a story, in a sense. Like when you read, say you read like a myth, there are things in a myth, themes in a myth, and things that you're supposed to take away from it. I feel like Sasquatch is kind of a myth in that sense. I do think that they're out there. But there's this weird mythology around Sasquatch too, where when you think about Sasquatch, at least when I think about Sasquatch, it gives me a desire to just leave all of this, I'm very envious of Sasquatch. I would love to have the ability to survive, you know, with my group of people, my tribe out in the wilderness, just taking care of each other and living a happy existence without anybody bothering me, you know? Sasquatch is that connection to the natural world. That is a representation, in my opinion, of maybe where we should be. We're so advanced technologically nowadays, all the stuff that we have. But I feel like mentally, we're regressing and we're falling apart. All of this stuff that we have is causing us to fall apart. And it's no surprise that the Sasquatch wouldn't want anything to do with us. That's why they would want to stay hidden, to preserve that lifestyle that they have, you know? Imagine a creature living off the land for 100,000 years, 200,000 years, and the absolute mastery of the wilderness and their environment that they would have. They would have developed the ultimate mastery of their environment. And we wonder, how could such a creature live in these areas? How in the world would they be able to thrive and survive? I feel like they keep very close attention to the little details about their lives. The amount that they reproduce, you know, the resources that they have and use. There's very close attention most likely paid to these things. And, you know, we're talking about a very intelligent being that could easily keep track of things. We're not talking about a deer or an elk or a bear. We're talking about something with a consciousness and the ability to, you know, self-reflect. There's a self-awareness about Bigfoot. They're like us. They're like us. Like, I think that's where we should be. I think humanity is supposed to be more along the lines of what the Sasquatch is. The subject of Sasquatch is fascinating. There's a reason why so many people get pulled into this subject, and it consumes them. Because it speaks to something deep inside. Deep inside, we have that desire to be part of this natural world. We have a desire to be out in nature, amongst the trees and all the other animals. We're not supposed to be encased in four walls and a roof and a floor. You know? I'm not supposed to be here sitting in front of this camera telling you this stuff. I'm supposed to be living a life, you know, out in nature. But we're getting further and further and further away from that. I don't know. I think that's why lots of people want to be part of this subject, because it kind of gives them a connection to the natural world. It gives them a good reason to go out into the wilderness, to go out exploring, and to just, you know, be a part of that. I don't know. There's something that speaks to a lot of people, and a lot of people find the subject very important. I don't know why I keep making videos about it, but I feel like I have to. I just feel like I have to. Yeah, I can't think of... It's definitely one of the most fascinating mysteries of our time. Why do all the ancient people of North America talk about a wild man? A Bigfoot-like creature. All these ancient indigenous cultures have this creature, you know, in their histories. This also brings up the question, when we talk about uncontacted tribes, it also brings up the question as to how much should we interfere or try to interfere? I feel like none of us want to interfere with the lives of Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you feel like calling it, but we want to see them and we want to prove their existence. We don't want to interfere, we don't want to be destructive, we don't want to scare them. We want to be, you know, friends. And there could be a lot of bad things that happen if Sasquatch is discovered. if somebody actually proves that they exist in a specific area, there could be bad things that come about from our end. You know, humanity could come in and do things that could be like dangerous towards them. It could have a lot of negative effects toward the Sasquatch, or it could have really good effects, I guess. Like the areas that they live in could be preserved. They could become nature reserves or parks. Some people think parks were created in North America to protect Sasquatch, which is totally possible. Totally possible. But I think from this point forward, going out into the bush looking for these things, I think we should be a little more conscious of what we're doing and how we're going about it. We want to be very respectful, and we don't want to be very intrusive. And there's multiple ways we can go about doing this. Obviously something like leave no trace ethics when you're out hiking and recreating in the wilderness. Not leaving garbage behind, picking up other people's garbage, being a steward of the land. You know, showing them that we care. I think that's very important. Showing them that you care and that you have, you know, a kind heart, that you're a good person. They probably can sense that. They probably pick up on that. And if they are observing you, behaving in a way out in the wilderness that is, you know, in a sense aligned with their way of being, they might be more inclined to come check you out and maybe make some sort of contact with you. One can only hope. One can only hope. But Sasquatch is like an uncontacted tribe. I wonder, I was kind of thinking in my head, like, I wonder if there is any uncontacted tribes other than Sasquatch in North America, especially in like the northern parts of Canada, northern BC, northern Alberta, and into the Yukon and Northwest Territories in certain areas, especially areas like the Nahanni Valley. Now, the Nahanni Valley is a fascinating location. It's very remote. There is a lot of unexplored wilderness up there. A lot of it's protected. Like the Nahanni Valley is one of the most protected areas in, you know, Canada. It's hard to access some of the spots there without like a guided tour. You can't really just go and hike off and do whatever you want. There could be anything in that area in the Nahanni Valley. And a lot of the reports from that area tell of tribes, like very barbaric tribes, cannibalistic tribes, not Sasquatch, mind you, but tribes of people that are extremely primitive and barbaric. And that's kind of unsettling. Is there a chance that some of these tribes also still exist? Not just Sasquatch, but some other kind of people. We do have lots of stories. There's lots of legends that come from that area. I used to talk about them quite a bit in older videos. A lot of it's referenced in this book, Legends of the Nahanni Valley by Hammerson Peters. It's one of my favorite books of the Nahanni Valley. It's huge, it's got so much information, a lot of great stories, a lot of information on the cryptids of the area. But they do talk about the cannibal giants of the Nahanni Valley. But there's lots of stories of, you know, indigenous people from the area getting taken from their villages by other tribes, tribes of giants, tribes of cannibals. There are stories like that. And then you have the whole mystery, the whole Headless Valley mystery of people turning up with their heads missing. That is a whole nother ballgame. But it makes you wonder what the possibilities are. We have uncontacted tribes in, you know, Asia and South America. Is there any in North America? Is it even possible? A lot of the land's been surveyed and explored for resources, but I think if we're talking about beings such as Sasquatch or Bigfoot or any of these other, you know, cannibalistic tribe type tribes, like if we're talking about that, these are beings that have brains, you know, that can hide from people. They are conscious of where they are and where you are. It's hard to find something that, you know, has small numbers in the wilderness, you know what I mean? Like if Sasquatch exists, it's a creature that has very small numbers, a very small population. It would be hard enough to find that if it was stationary and not really moving around. But imagine now, like, if that being, these Sasquatch beings were trying to hide from you, like actively trying to stay hidden. They were fearful. Like, you're not gonna find something out in the deep bush that is hiding from you, like actively hiding from you, and can move in ways that you cannot, and has a complete mastery of that environment, you know? And you do not have that. You've been conditioned for this lifestyle, encased in a room with lights and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth shooting through your body all the time. Like, we're just too soft, you know? I'm not surprised that we haven't found Bigfoot yet, I'll just say that. But I think if we focus on going back to more old school ways of being and ways of thinking, and being really respectful of the wilderness and the land and how we are when we are out there. So there's a lot of people that will go out into the bush on a May-long weekend and just destroy the place. And if you're from here in Alberta, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. May-long weekends are hell. They're hell for, you know, the forest. Just something to think about. You know, we're dealing with North America's uncontacted tribe. Let's just be respectful when we're out in the wilderness and when we're looking for these things, and not to be too invasive and intrusive with our methods of, you know, investigating the subject. That's all I have for this video, just a quick little chat about that. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Mountain Beast Mysteries Beyond Bigfoot. It's our new members-only content site. You can sign up for a monthly subscription to get new videos every Monday and Friday on subjects that aren't related to Bigfoot. We're talking paranormal, we're talking ancient mysteries, we're talking everything under the sun when it comes to weird and unexplained, aside from Bigfoot. So if you're interested in any of that, well, come check us out. Here's more information. Welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries Beyond Bigfoot, the new place to get access to our exclusive members-only content. Beyond Bigfoot features 2 new Mountain Beast Mysteries shows, Beyond Bigfoot and Diving Deeper. In Beyond Bigfoot, we look at essentially every other mystery in the world of the unexplained. We're not holding back here at all. We're going to be talking about everything from the shadow people to the Skinwalker Ranch to time travel. The dog can sense that there's something up with these things. They're like a malevolent, bad entity. In Diving Deeper, we focus on mysteries of the ancient world. Everything from the pyramids of Giza to the Ark of the Covenant to the Nazca lines in Peru. For the last, I guess, over 100 years, people have been wondering and trying to figure out what this thing is, who made it, you know, what is it for? How does it work? Some of the episodes you can expect this month are the Hoia Baciu Forest, Ouija boards, Giants of North America, the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, Skinwalker Ranch, the Dark Side of the Moon, and the Pyramid Mystery. Both of these shows will have new episodes every Monday and Friday. But that's not all. We have a third program that really ventures beyond in terms of subject matter. The Fungal Experience discusses the highly controversial topic of psilocybin and psychedelic mushrooms. We discuss the spiritual aspect of psilocybin, and I share my own personal mushroom experiences. I gotta warn you though, this is a series that is quite personal, and I don't hold back. It gets very weird, and some of you will definitely be uncomfortable. On top of everything I've mentioned, members have access to my collection of unedited, raw UFO footage, which I've shot over the course of the summer. I welcome you all to have an unedited look at all of my footage, and I challenge you to discover things in these clips that I probably missed. Now, if you're a current Patreon member, don't worry, you all get access to this for free. Just go to the Mountain Beast Mysteries Patreon page, and there you'll discover how to get free access to Beyond Bigfoot. Go to mountainbeastmysteries.com/beyondbigfoot and hit the gray Sign Up Now button to get access to all of our new video content. I hope to see you all there.